What is going on, everybody? This is going to be my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch presentation. And I think the best way to describe the Nintendo Switch presentation is that it seems like every time Nintendo takes 2 steps forward, they seemingly take 5 steps back. Because for every good thing that was at this presentation, then they did something to really just be a buzzkill on the whole thing. At least that's how I felt when watching this. So let's start off with the stuff that I liked about the presentation, because there honestly wasn't a lot. So let's get that out of the way. Super Mario Odyssey. That looks freaking amazing. We are finally going back to an open world type Mario game like Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, which I thought were both pretty good games. And it's really refreshing to see Nintendo take that risk again with the Mario franchise, because the Mario franchise for a while has just been really stagnant, because it seems like Nintendo, for the past few Mario games, they've seemingly just tried to recapture the magic of the older side-scrolling Mario games, and to me, they really haven't. And then you got the Mario Galaxy games, which are pretty good, but they're still linear. So it's really refreshing to go back to that open world style Mario game. And the graphics look amazing, the gameplay looks fun. It's got a variety of different locations. Mario's even in an actual city with people. It just looks awesome, and I would love to play that game, and that comes out this holiday. So that's good. I can't wait to see more of that game. Another thing they showed that I really enjoyed was, of course, the new Zelda game, Zelda Breath of the Wild. That looks like it could be really fun, although I'm still kind of worried about it. Now, I'm a big Zelda fan. I've been playing Zelda since the first one all the way back on the NES. Every time I look at Breath of the Wild footage, even though it looks good, it looks like Nintendo is trying to change things from a traditional Zelda game. And I have this gut feeling that they're going to change too much of it, that it's not going to feel like a traditional Zelda game to me. Now, you might not have that worry. That's fine. It's just the past few Zelda games, they've changed things in the game that kind of turned me off a little bit. Like, I was very disappointed in Skyward Sword, and there were features in A Link Between Worlds that I didn't particularly care for, like having to rent all of the Zelda items instead of actually finding them in a dungeon and then solving it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I just hope Nintendo doesn't change too much with this game, and they keep a lot of traditional Zelda elements in the game. That's just my fear. If you don't have that fear, that's fine, but it still looks like it could be pretty good. But I'm going to wait to see some gameplay from other people before I decide to go out and buy it. So yeah, that's it. Those were the only 2 things about this presentation that I liked. Everything else was in the presentation was either it was okay, but it didn't really appeal to me much, or it was just flat out terrible. What was really terrible about this presentation? They spent way too much fucking time on motion controls. When they started talking about motion controls with the Joy-Con controllers, that just screamed to me that Nintendo wants to recapture the Wii audience. They are desperate to recapture that audience because that audience was giving them money. Well, Nintendo, once again, I hate to break it to you, but that audience is gone, and they are never, ever coming back. They have moved on to smartphones and tablets. That is why they didn't buy the Wii U, like you probably assumed they would. They're gone. They're never coming back. And the core gamer, or at least most of them, they don't care about this motion control stuff. I don't care. I don't care about milking a cow with the Joy-Cons. Yes, that's a real thing. Or shaking it where ice falls in a cup. I don't care about that. I care about actual core video games. And one of those motion control games was where you face away from the TV screen. Why would you want to play a video game and not look at the TV screen? Why would you do that? That is just crazy to me. Now, I don't mind them having this. I don't. Because having variety on your gaming console And yes, that's what the Switch is. It's a gaming console. Nintendo confirmed it as such at this event, so we can now safely call this a console. One of the best things about a console is having variety, and it's good that Nintendo actually has this motion controls in the console. I just wish they wouldn't have spent so much time talking about it. They acted like that was the main feature of the Switch. They should have spent like maybe 5 to 10 minutes at most talking about this, but instead they went it felt like 25 to 30 minutes on motion controls. So that pissed me off. What also pissed me off? Oh, pricing. Pricing. Now, the $300 price point for the Switch isn't terrible. Although $200 to $250 would have been a lot better. Because now since the Switch is at $300, it is now in direct competition with the PS4 and the Xbox One that are around the same price. One of the main things that got people to buy the Wii over the PS3 and the 360 was that it was cheaper than the competitors. If Nintendo put it at $200 to $250, that would have given them an edge. It would have. Because now people are going to look at the Switch, and they're going to look at the PS4 and the Xbox One, and they're going to compare them all to see what has the most value. Now, maybe that's not really fair because the PS3 and the Xbox One have been out much longer than the Switch, so of course it's going to have more games, but that is why they should have priced it lower. So that you wouldn't have had that worry about spending that kind of money on a console. Especially if you don't already own a PS4 and an Xbox One. But that's not what really pissed me off about pricing. What really pissed me off about pricing was the accessories pricing. Holy crap, Nintendo. Did you just become Apple? I think you did. I think you drank some apple juice, in a way. Oh my god, the pricing for the accessories are so overpriced. Nintendo wants $70 for a regular controller, because yes, that's right. The Switch is not bundled with a regular controller, so if you want to play games on the Switch with a normal controller, you have to spend $70 extra. Which is more than what Microsoft and Sony offer with their regular controllers. That is insane, Nintendo. And then they want $80 for another pair of Joy-Cons, which, by the way, I don't know what the hell Nintendo's thinking when they actually had that guy come out there and said, oh, well, the Joy-Cons are so comfortable. They feel so much comfortable in their hands. Those things look so small, it looks like I might accidentally break them if I hold it. They look so freaking tiny. They look like they are designed for little children. So, yeah. They want $80 for a pair of them, and then I think it's $50 for a single Joy-Con. A single one of those Joy-Cons is $50. It's almost the price of an actual game. Oh my god. Nintendo does not know how to price accessories. And you're going to be spending a lot of money if you want to get the most out of the Nintendo Switch. You're going to be spending a lot of money. So much money, you might even be spending more money than what you would if you, say, would buy a PS4 Pro or the upcoming Xbox Scorpio. Insane. And speaking of that, let's talk about Nintendo's online, because Nintendo is now going to charge for online. Yes, Nintendo has joined Sony and Microsoft in charging you to play online. And I think this is what kills Nintendo the most here when it comes to the Switch, because Nintendo could have taken the high road and been like, we're not going to charge you online like Sony and Microsoft. Our online is free and open. Have a good time. Because that is the one thing that the Nintendo fanboys love to shove in other people's faces with the Wii U. Because they would always keep saying, oh, well, we don't have to pay to play online. Our online is free. Well, where are these people now? Because the online is no longer free. And not only that, it's worse than what Sony and Microsoft are doing. How is it worse, you may ask? Well, voice chat is finally coming to the Switch. But it's going to be behind a paywall. You heard me right. Voice chat is going to be behind a paywall. It is going to be through a smartphone app. And not only that, it's not coming till fall. So you can't even use it at launch on the Switch. It's not coming till this fall. So I guess Nintendo assumes that everyone has a smartphone. Because if you don't have a smartphone, you can't do voice chatting on Switch. So there you go. So you would have to buy a smartphone to voice chat on the Switch. So there's more money. And on top of that, it's of course behind the paid subscription to Nintendo Online. So there's more money there. And then of course, Nintendo also said, and this could have been a good thing by the way, is that you will get a free monthly NES or Super Nintendo game. It's great. Kind of like PS Plus and Xbox Games for Gold. Although it's only one game as opposed to many games, but you know what, it's still not bad, giving us some type of value for our money. But there's a catch. It's only going to be for that month. And as soon as the month ends, that game is gone. So you only get to play that game for a month. It's not like PS Plus where as long as you keep up the subscription, you get to keep all of the games that you download for PlayStation Plus. And then there's Xbox Games for Gold, where even if you end your Gold subscription, you still keep the free games you download with Games for Gold. So Nintendo somehow, overall, made online worse than Sony and Microsoft and more greedy. And I didn't think anyone would do that. I didn't think anybody would be more greedy than Sony or Microsoft when it comes to online gaming. But here's Nintendo to show them up. Good work, Nintendo. And you know, I don't want to hear the excuse, oh, well, Nintendo's going to take online seriously now, so now they need money to have better servers and yada yada yada. The PC is free to play online. You can play online multiplayer with the PC for free. So if PC can do it, then Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo can do it. So I don't want to hear that excuse. I don't want to hear that excuse. Okay. To me, that's the thing that kills the Switch more than anything else. Is that they're now going to charge you to play online. Because the Switch is going to be a lot of people's secondary console. Are a lot of people going to spend an extra fee to play online for another device? I don't know. I highly doubt it. I do. Okay, what else didn't I like about this? The whole presentation was really disorganized in a way. The translators looked so bored. They looked like they didn't want to be there. A lot of the translations got messed up. When Nintendo started actually showing games, like they had some good some good JRPGs coming, and they showed them off. Some of the games didn't even have English subtitles. So some games they showed, and then they put up a Japanese text. I'm sorry, I can't read Japanese. So I don't know what that game's called. And I shouldn't have to go look it up to find out. You should tell me right there. But, you know, it's good that Nintendo's got these JRPGs coming. That's good. But I need to see more of them before I make a judgment on them if I'm interested or not. They, of course, showed Splatoon 2, which I don't care about. If you like it, that's fine. I don't care about it. And then, of course, they brought a guy up from EA, which is funny. And the guy was up there for like 5 minutes just talking and talking and talking. And people were wondering, oh, is a big EA franchise coming? Like Battlefield, Mass Effect? Any of them coming? No, it's just FIFA. It's just FIFA. And I expect Nintendo to get the sports games. I expect them to get the sports games. So it's not a really big shocker there. But it's just funny how they made you seem like something bigger was on the way. Okay, what else? I think that's it. I just... No. That's not it. The one thing that they could have done better is that they could have talked about the actual Switch console more. There were still so many unanswered questions about the Switch. What are the specs of the Switch? How's online going to work? If you're going to charge us for online now, you better tell us how it works. How are they going to handle sharing gameplay? Because apparently you could share gameplay with the Switch. How are they going to handle that? Is it going to be just through YouTube? Is it going to be exclusive to people who pay to play online? Is it only going to be for Nintendo partners? Just how's all that going to work? yeah, there's just so many unanswered questions with this thing, and I don't want to hear the excuse, oh, well, they'll talk more about it at E3, and, yeah, but this thing comes out in March! This thing comes out in March! That's only a month and a half away! You need to sell people on it! We've already waited long enough! Remember all the months and months and months people were making NX videos talking about rumors of what the NXs could be, which is now the Switch? You know, you need to sell us on it. You need to answer all these questions, and they're not. This would have been the perfect opportunity to do so. Hell, I would have loved to have seen them come back on some of the games they showed and talk more about the actual Switch console. I would have liked to have seen that. So, alright, to sum up everything, I don't see how anyone in their right mind could justify spending money for this at launch. Doesn't have a lot of games at launch. And more games are coming, and that's good, but it doesn't have a lot at launch. The earliest I would consider buying a Switch, for me, is this holiday, because you're going to have a Mario and a Zelda, which I find funny because here we are again, another Nintendo console that is strictly being carried by Mario and Zelda. It's funny how people will rightfully criticize Microsoft for depending on Gears, Halo, and Forza too much, but here's Nintendo solely depending on Mario and Zelda. And ask yourself this. If this did not have Zelda at launch and didn't have Mario coming this holiday, would you even be remotely interested in the Switch? I highly doubt it. And that's the issue here. Now, the Switch, as a device, in the future, could be a really good console for Nintendo. Even with all the negatives that it has going for it could be a really good console in the future. Maybe a year or two down the road, when it's got Mario, it's got Zelda, and it's got other games that are coming to it. But as of right now, I don't see how anyone in their right mind could buy this thing at launch. I really don't. So, that is it. Please let me know what you think about this video, and the Nintendo Switch presentation as well. I'm out. Hope you all have a good one.